Do Telecom proudly presents The Entrepreneur, the TV show that will determine new pioneers with groundbreaking business ideas. The winner of the competition will be awarded 2 million dirhams, which includes 1 million dirhams investment from Do, Telecom's bundle of business services supplied by Do, 1 year's free office space courtesy of Silicon Oasis founders, an advertising and PR package from the Leo Burnett Group, mentoring and networking support provided by WAMDA, 12 months of advisory and consultancy assistance from Ernst & Young, free media and editorial from CPI.
Welcome to The Entrepreneur. Now, in the last episode, we saw how our 3 finalists dealt with the world of finance through a task set by our panel of judges. Well, this time round, we see how they deal with communications and marketing and the use of new technologies to help to push and promote their business ideas. That's the task at hand.
Only 3 business ideas were up to the challenge and made it this far. Our finalists are Abdul Ghani from FlyConnect, Lulu from Nabish, and Mohammed and Faisal from Alink.
So this particular task is going to take place down at the shelter. And of course, Anthea will be down there to keep an eye on all of the proceedings.
Our candidates have just arrived to the shelter, where they'll spend the day planning and learning how to best market their businesses. They started with identifying the key messages they want to deliver with Eileen.
We're here today to talk about key message development, how you take the foundation of your business, all of the fabulous ideas that you have, and how you put them into easily digestible, easy to communicate facts and figures that will help you get across what makes you different to your core audiences and target markets. So that's a little background. What we're going to do now is I'm going to sit with each of you and we're going to come up with your key messages that you want to communicate in your mock interview that we're going to do. And once you have that message house created, we're going to interview each of you on camera and then watch it and see how you did.
The key messages have been identified. Now it's time for the mock interview.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Fantastic. I think the camera's rolling so we can get started. Abdul Ghani, why do you think that some of the major manufacturers, like Kingston Technology, for instance, why would they have not come up with this already, if it's such a good idea?
Exactly. Now, the thing is that if you want to go back, let's say 2 to 3 years ago, the components that FlyConnect is formed by weren't that small. So, for example, the Wi-Fi connector used to be that big. You have the other components that are made by FlyConnect, which are the microprocessor, the battery, the wireless transceiver, the mini screen, etc. So if you put all these components together, now in our current days, you can make a USB flash memory that big.
And where do you see Nabish 5 years from now, let's say?
I see it as the go-to site for freelance work in the region.
Do you think it's likely that someone will want to buy you at some point?
Sure, of course.
So what is it, the thing that people most need an outsourced service like Alink to do for them?
Flight bookings, restaurant bookings, spa bookings, getting someone to your home actually to get, for example, a personal stylist or makeup artist that comes home to your house and do, sorry.
That's okay, we'll keep going. Fantastic. Lulu Khazan, good luck with Nabish.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Everyone, almost universally, hates the way that they look on camera, hates the way that their voice sounds. So it's okay if you go, oh, the first time you actually see it. Do I really look like that? The answer, no, you look better, so don't worry about that.
They actually liked the way they looked. But how will they take Eileen's comments?
Couple of quick comments. There's definitely a need to sharpen up your messaging. You did hit your key messages, but there was a bit, if you forgive the expression, of blah, blah, blah
I think it's a bit less structured than we hoped it would be. I mean, in terms of priority, what to mention first, what to mention later. It was a bit all over the place.
You're getting a bit technical.
Yeah.
And when you find yourself doing that and selling too much, you have to take it back to the customer perspective.
It was for me the first interview as a reporter, and I took so many good points out of it regarding some expressions that I was repeating them.
It would be beneficial to mention the brand more often. I definitely said it like 5 times, but I'm not sure that I ever heard you guys actually say a link or a link.com at all. Congratulations to Lulu, because she got all of her key messages out. I asked her about her competition, and she managed to block that question and bridge back to talking about Nabesh. She's obviously thought about what those tough questions are going to be and has some answers to them. Another thing which you do, which we all do, and you're doing it right now, when someone's talking to you, you nod at them.
Yeah, I know the
Meaning,
nods.
yes, I hear you, I understand
Okay.
what you're saying. It can be very
Disturbing?
negative. Lulu, are you chewing gum in the interview?
No, I don't know. I was looking at myself as a part of my eating.
All right, okay. Just so Lulu was not chewing gum, but just an obvious point. No smoking, no chewing gum, no eating, no drinking in media interviews.
It's always interesting to see how you act on camera, and it's a great way to learn what you've done right, what you've done wrong, and how you can improve.
Does anybody have a head start, do you think, in terms of communicating with media?
They all seem to have their moments. Faisal and Mohammed are very personable. They come across very warmly, very naturally on camera. Abdul Ghani, I think, has all of his ducks in a row in terms of all of his technical details. It sounds like he's almost sales pitching us. And Lulu has a great idea and is able to really communicate that idea very clearly. So I think each one has his or her own strengths that will be interesting to see them develop.
So there you have it, Tom. Seems like everybody's benefited, of course, from Eileen's sound advice.
Great, thank you very much indeed, Anthea. Now, after the break, creative thinking and digital media. Stay with us.
What I want to create with each of you individually is a not an ad, but a platform. What do you think you can take to the market that will make a difference? 2 things I want to get out of today is clarity and simplicity. And if you can take that simple message, that can make a difference to the market, then I think you're going to be doing very well.
After getting acquainted with the candidates and their business ideas, Peter is helping them to come up with a slogan that suits their businesses best.
2 other things that I wanted to talk about. One is desirability. How do you create desire for your company and your product? And the other thing is, what do you stand for? If you can get clear on what you stand for within the community, within the general marketplace, then people can understand you very clearly, and it makes it a lot easier for them to purchase. So hopefully I can, along with my art directors, give you a hand in being able to produce something that's really going to make a difference in the marketplace, and also can help you become clear on how you should sell it, each with very unique audiences. Yours is the most complex, and I think it would be interesting to see your thoughts.
Now that each one of them has a slogan, the art directors are ready to help create platforms for the businesses. And of course, the contestants could not wait to see the results.
I'm excited to see what has been produced so far.
Good. Well, me too. I'm excited to show you what we have here. Because the other businesses are already up and running and yours isn't, you didn't even have a logo. So what Mohammed did was design a very simple logo. What we tried to do is not do functional. You have a great product and the function of it works beautifully, and that's fine, but that's not necessarily positioning your product or your brand. Here's how we represented it. This isn't an ad, but it's how to position, or possible way that we could position Fly Connect. So more about the human nature of sharing. So every share has a reason. So why do we share? To fulfill our own egos. Here's something really nice and someone comes back and says, I really like that.
I really liked it, and I can see the message being transmitted through very little words, and the picture itself, it's giving so much impressions, and you can really see the outcomes out of it.
All we wanted to do was find a positioning, and I think with yours, we came to something grand, and very appropriate to your business. What I like about it is that it could get noticed. And what are we trying to do in advertising? What are we trying to do in any of our marketing communication is get noticed. Now, you had a comment about it earlier, which I thought was very interesting. It's like, is this statement too grand for me? I'm just a little business.
Peter convinced me to go with a blunt and fearless statement. At the end of the day, we are trying to get notice, and we are trying to leave an impression. So why not? So he convinced me not to be scared.
The grand statement, make unemployment history.
Yeah.
If you could do that, then the world will be the path to your door.
I love it.
So we also, as we say,
Yeah.
we
So we have a
copied off a certain game a little bit, but the whole idea was your brand, as represented by the owl, destroying unemployment. What we came up with was a visual, a layout of how that might look.
When they presented the idea of having a squiggly with a lot going on and then a simple thread, I thought it wasn't really suitable. I thought it would complicate things and make our clients even more, or our potential clients even more confused. But after I saw it in front of me and it was presented to us, I thought it was wonderful.
We talk about all the things that are complicating our day, which is exactly what a link is all about. So you know, sign up for Health Club, submit documents, pay your bill, maybe a passport renewal, all those things that complicate it within that sort of scribble that the art director has graphically represented as a complicated day. And then we come down to a very, very simple line that just says one call or email and your personal assistant takes care of it all. The simplicity of this also represents you well, because that's what your service is, all about simplicity.
Out of the three finalists, is there one that you particularly think in your area of expertise that stands out?
Look, there is one, and I think it primarily because of the idea. We weren't trying to get designs as such, but we were trying to get to a really nice idea. And I think Lulu's was quite amazing, where we created something that was a bigger idea. Make unemployment history, I think, stands for something. That one I thought was great. I thought the other guys did a really, really good job as well.
Excellent. Well, they're all very lucky, I have to say. So as you can see, it's been a really productive day over here, and it's not every day that you get a chance to get great advice from the Executive Creative Director of Leo Burnett. Over to you, Tom.
Thanks very much indeed to Peter. Now, digital media, obviously the way to go. Time to meet Dimitri.
All we're going to do today is take some of the ideas that you've been discussing in the last session and think a little bit about how you can bring those ideas to life in the digital space.
Basically, Dimitri wanted us to improve our digital marketing in terms of different ways to market our product, in terms of social media, websites, and other utilities.
So that's something that I want you to think a little bit about in the role of digital. We'll sit down together on this, in a moment. But ultimately what we're getting at is writing or defining what is a digital marketing plan. It's a whole new area for you. And there's all sorts of techniques, platforms, channels that you need to consider at some point or another, and how applicable they will be or what priority they will have on your business.
After explaining the importance and the role of digital, Dimitri helped them to define the digital marketing plan of their businesses. The comments, tips, and advice he gave to each one individually were very efficient.
come up with something interesting by targeting, again, people who are technologically savvy, who potentially have access to a lot of people. So you can target them, give them the device, let them play with it, let them have fun with it. No brief, just let them have fun. And what they do is, if they like it and they use it, they start blogging about it, and they start tweeting about it, and they start sharing it with their friends, and that kind of thing. And it's a great way to virally sort of spread, you know, the benefits of the product. If I become a fan of your page, as much as it's nice to have the quirky posts and things, I would rather know more about, you know, the value that you're bringing to me through your content.
Very valid.
You know what I mean?
Very valid.
So try to avoid the temptation of, like, okay, I like this, so let me just post that.
Yeah.
Or we like that, and so let's just post it, because you're kind of deteriorating the content value. Search, I think, is going to be really important to you.
SEO, you mean?
Both. So
Search engine
pay-per-click.
marketing.
Yeah, so search engine marketing, which consists of pay-per-click strategy and an SEO optimization strategy. So I think that's going to be really, really big, because your business lives online.
It was very beneficial in terms of, you know, how to use social media to drive traffic to my site, and how to convert that traffic into registrations, and the registrations to transactions. So it was very helpful.
Even if we don't win the competition, this is something that we should do. Everything we learned today actually is something very valuable for us to take back home.
Tom, it's been a very long day this end, but I think that all of the contestants have worked extremely hard. They focused on improving their media communications, and then they looked at strengthening their brand, and finally their digital marketing plan. So all in all, they've all worked extremely hard today.
Thanks, Anthea, and thanks also to all of our coaches who've been helping out our candidates. Now, as you can see, our panel of judges is back, and we're going to review some footage during the break of what our finalists have been up to during the day. When we come back, those finalists will be in front of the panel getting a little more helpful advice. So stay with us. Welcome back to The Entrepreneur, and of course the opportunity now for our finalists to go back in front of the judges. Those judges join us now. Thank you very much yet again for being with us. Had the opportunity to review the footage during the break. Looking forward to meeting the finalists again?
Absolutely.
Yes. Surely.
Good stuff. Let's get them out. And of course it is reverse order this time round. So they were down at the shelter a little earlier on, but there is absolutely no shelter from our judges this time round. Let's bring them out then, and first up it is Mohammed and Faisal.
When watching your session with the marketing consultants and then listening to you speak on the record and off the record, there's an element of the customer not understanding. So with that, what are your 3 key messages that you've learned or you've changed that are going to help me now understand?
I think what we're trying to do now is we're trying to focus the message to 3 things, which we learned from the exercise.
Just give me 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. So first thing that we're trying to maximize on is affordability. The second thing is that it's one point of contact to get everything done. So it's this one ease factor.
Convenience.
And the third is basically that it's a structured approach to getting things done. So everything is organized and
That's convenient. Give me a third. Affordability, convenience, and?
Peace of mind.
Okay, thank you. My question is going to be about internal marketing. What are some of the things, other than email marketing and so on, what are some of the marketing tools that you're going to use in order to make sure that that peer-to-peer network stays on your site and you benefit from it vis-a-vis payments, traffic, and so on?
Okay, well, first of all, I have, as I mentioned, I'm working with a media, a big publisher, basically to get some feeds from them on like location-based activities. So that will bring in some kind of news, so it makes it more current. We're also looking at, obviously, people rating each other would also keep the momentum going. And again, as I said, you have freelance opportunities, so the rotation is also higher. And we would, while we study our audience, we will look into the user, basically the user experience, and then we will study and we see where people are leaving the pages, and we will add certain features for them to make them come back.
Abdulghani, going through the communications training with the mentors, who are your customers? Have you specifically identified your customers and how you're planning to reach them and to convince them to buy or to take what you're offering?
Okay. Basically, our customers would be mainly business professionals, university students, and schools.
How will you distinguish yourself in terms of marketing the product?
Okay. We have went through branding. I don't know if you already saw the billboard.
In the future.
In the future.
When a better technology comes out.
Now we have made a branding that encapsulates the emotional part of sharing files with the different applications that we have, and we call it every share has a reason. Fly Connect, it's sharing at with anyone, anywhere. This branding that we have made is for all the applications that will be coming through the future, and it will hold the same meaning.
So you'll continue the emotional message in your marketing.
Exactly.
We've established that you are a business-to-business, a B2B product.
Yes.
Which means that all of your branding as a message, as an image, should appeal to that person who's going to license it from you, not that person who's going to buy it from the person who's licensing it.
Exactly.
All the other social media and all the things that were talked about in the session won't apply to you as a B2B. So I'm going to end this with a piece of advice for you. You're a good technical guy. You know your patents. You repeat the same things every time we ask you any question. I highly advise you to bring on a marketing person as a partner.
Well, another thank you has to go, of course, to our 4 judges. Thanks very much indeed to all of you for being with us yet again. There is just one more task for you to pass judgment on, and we'll get to that in our next episode. Who is going to stand out as a true leader? Who's up to the pressure, and who has the responsibility to take this all the way through to the end? Management will be tested next time, together on The Entrepreneur.